Okay, so Elon Musk, the multimillionaire and insanely famous person. Today we are going to discuss 4 core principles of his and apply those to your studies and get that grade that you really want, desire and definitely deserve. Number 1. Work towards a clear goal and have full responsibility for your actions. Or we need a starting place and an end destination. In order to perform well at school, you need something that drives you forward, that actually motivates you to start studying. Right now, you probably don't study any longer than the bare minimum that gets you through school and actually to the university or college that you want to go to. And studying for the least amount of time can also be a goal in itself. But you need to remind yourself that your final grade is within your own 2 hands, and only by acknowledging this and actually pursuing that grade are you actually able to get it. Elon has taken on a lot of projects, some that have succeeded and some that have failed. But the ones that did succeed only did so because of his persistence and good reasoning. When starting SpaceX, for example, Elon put hundreds of millions of his own money into the Falcon project, only to fail the launch of the rocket 3 times. But Elon knew what he eventually wanted and did everything in his power to make it happen. Just think of how completely insane it is to take on this project by yourself and actually have it succeed. No offense, but your exams probably aren't as difficult as it is to launch a rocket ship into space, even though it may feel like it. You know that if you study right, you can get that grade that you really want, and I'm here to help you with that. We all know that working towards an end goal is infinitely easier than just doing random stuff. Having an endpoint reveals a path that you need to walk in order to get to that destination. So, setting up clear goals and actually adhering to them. Here's the first step. Really look at what it is that you want. It can really be anything: impressing your parents, having less stress, wanting to become rich or famous. As long as you are really passionate about it, it can truly help you through rough times. If you want to see this in practice, just look at this interview with Elon. A why can drive anyone to do incredible things. Here are some of my personal goals that can help you to create your own. For university, get a big income so that I can be financially free and travel more. For working right now, my incentive is to be able to go out with friends, buy them a drink without having to continuously worry about money. And studying Japanese, it is my absolute dream to be able to have a conversation with a local and have them be surprised by the conversation. That warmth, that drive is step 1 in anything if you actually want to achieve something. But how do we actually use that drive to get to the next level? Tip number 2, become a master of efficiency. The amount of work that Elon does right now in a week is more than any of us do in a year. And what he achieves in that week is more than most of us do in our entire lives. How is this even possible? Just by looking at how Elon chooses to live his life and allocate his time, we can distinguish 3 core principles that are incredibly important if you want to reach the same amount of success. Concentration, effectiveness and leverage. For this guide, only the first 2 are really important. But after we have discussed them, it is very easy to see the small things that you are doing wrong and what you need to change in order to reach the same amount of efficiency. Number 1, concentration. 6. Elon Musk has founded and owned 6 different businesses that have all amassed an insane amount of profitability and success. Imagine being in charge of a fully different corporation each day of the week. Everyone knows that Elon takes on an insane workload and most regular people would succumb to the pressure right away. And the solution to this is concentration. You have probably gone through a period at school where you were just drowning in the different subjects. There were tests flying everywhere around you, towards you, and you were just panicking at what you should be doing right now. And the solution to that is this. Whatever you choose to work on, make sure that your full attention and focus is actually on that subject and not on everything around you. You should be able to fully focus on one specific subject and lose everything around you. Only then are you at your most effective. Elon has gone on record as the saying that he is very good in being able to fully focus on one corporation and letting others be. When he is at Tesla, he isn't thinking of the boring company, and the same goes for SpaceX, Neuralink, etc. So why is this important? Focus and efficiency are extremely closely linked, and this is true all the way back when you were 6 years old. And just like Elon only surrounds himself with the absolute best of the best, you too should surround yourself only with good friends and family that are hardworking and are knowledgeable about the information that you need to study. This technique has helped me so much throughout the years that it's almost unfair to all of your other classmates. It all has to do with the people. You need to be continuously around people without them even knowing that they are helping you. I would always start with learning in the presence of my parents and siblings. This really helped me to get into the studying vibe, as it was often more enjoyable to focus on my work than it was talking to them. Additionally, the pressure of knowing that they are watching me really helps me to stay focused. They would actually be impressed with me for studying, and that made it a lot easier to actually start. The same goes for studying with friends, especially the day off or before the test. It would really help me to sit down with my friends. The looming pressure of the test was felt by everyone, and in that moment everyone had the same common goal. Everyone was concentrating but willing to help each other. And because of this, I too was inclined to study, and if I had any questions, they would be resolved so much more quickly than if I had to solve them by myself. And finally, sometimes you just need the help of someone that is really smart. You can of course ask a teacher, but maybe a coworker would be better. So instead, here's a technique that I use over and over again to get any classmate to help me whenever I want. The Triple C framework. Compliment, confirm, conduct. To put it simply, when you ask a question, you want to make sure that the person you are asking actually wants to answer. And this technique really helps you to make sure that they always want to answer. You want the person to feel needed, so give them a compliment and tell them how much it would really help if they would just take 2 minutes. If they say yes, which they will probably do, ask them if now is alright or another time would be better. And this is important. Only ask the question if they have time available. This will make sure that the answer they give is much better, as they will be in a much better mood. You probably know this from yourself. If you are in a hurry, you just have tunnel vision. Everything around you loses its value and you don't want to answer any question that is given to you. And conduct. You should have the perfect question ready and ask it. Make sure that it is really clear what you need in order to be fulfilled. And the last level that you need to overcome is your perspective on the process. Elon has a very specific perspective on his travel to Mars. For him personally, it is very important. He feels it is his obligation to go to Mars, and that reaches back to the first part that we discussed, having a clear goal and working towards it. However, perspective is really broad, and there's one more aspect to his perspective that I really want to talk about. Simulation theory. Simply put, if we can simulate a universe, then that universe can simulate a universe, and that universe can simulate a universe, etc. In that case, there are probably a very large number of simulated universes for each given root universe. If there are more simulated universes than real universes, then this one is probably a simulation. Another argument for simulation theory is that our universe follows mathematical laws and seems to show signs of optimization to speed up computing. For example, we have maximum speeds and minimum temperatures, and a number of seemingly arbitrary constants defining relationships. This perspective on the universe allows certain benefits and restrictions on Elon's own life. He is more freed from despair and life sadness, but never knows if his decisions are truly free or all due to the simulation. We as humans shape our entire identity by believing the things that we believe. And positive reinforcement is one of the strongest ways to better yourself as a person. You really need to understand that you have full control over the decisions that you make, and that small moments of good decisions can have unimaginable outcomes. Psychologists have proven that just by stating a fact to yourself over and over again, that eventually you will believe it, and that you will live up to that statement. This is where fake it till you make it comes from. And believing in yourself is without a doubt one of the most important ones that we have. What an insane person Elon is. He is one of the few leading this generation into hopefully a better tomorrow. He is productive beyond belief, and above anything else, a pretty cool dude.